hopefully don't lose connection, but we'll do about 45 minutes, and we'll get going in about a minute. So grab your water bottle, grab your mat, do whatever else is right and good for you. And we'll see you real soon. Hey. All right. Welcome, Josephine Cormier. We're here in our backyard, and let's have a seat. I'm going to invite you to find a cross-legged position. I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin as we start to take our attention inward. And we can start just by watching our breath as it flows in and as it flows out, arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for a pop-up yoga afternoon class. Just watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of just watching your breath, I invite you to start to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. Long, smooth breaths in. Long, smooth breaths in. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Moving towards the Ujjayi, or ocean breath, a slight constriction of the base of the throat to add a slight sound and feel to your breath as we flow through our practice this afternoon, letting the sound and feel of your Ujjayi breath be a focus for your practice, always coming back to that sound and feel, sometimes compared to the waves of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. Keeping this, I'll invite you to find Jiva Bandha, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth. Trying to keep that connection throughout our practice this afternoon. Keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face. Opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, opening the eyes. If you close the eyes, let's bring hand by left hip. Right hand catches the top of the thigh. Let an inhale, grow your spine tall. And then finding a twist. Either looking straight ahead, off to the side, or over that back shoulder. As we hold this twist with every inhalation, let your spine grow long. With every exhalation, finding a little more twist, even if it's just on an energetic level. One more long, slow breath here. Letting your next inhale bring you through center, right hand by right hip. Left hand catches the top of the thigh. Let it inhale, grow your spine tall. And then finding your twist. And then finding a place to look, a drishti or eye focus that works for your body, your breath, your back, your energy level. And that can change throughout the show. Letting your next inhale bring you through center. Let's find a side bend each way, grounding down through a hand, other hand tie. Leaning onto a sits bone to lift that far sits bone up. And then keep the hand where it is as you slide that sits bone back down. And then holding for 2 or 3 breaths, just breathing into those ribs. With every in-breath, finding a little more space between each rib. With every out-breath, keeping that space as we ground down through both sits bones and stretch a little bit higher up to the sky. Let your next inhale bring you through center. We'll ground down through other hand tie, leaning to one side to lift that far sits bone up. And then keep the hand where it is as you slide it back down. And then holding for 2 or 3 breaths. Just breathing into those ribs. Letting your next inhale bring you through center. From here, let's take a little forward fold, hinging at the hips as we spider our fingers front. And then pacing the palms down as we round the spine. Relax shoulders, soft face. As we take 2 or 3 big breaths into our back heart. And then unpacing the palms, spidering the fingers back in as we reclaim our long, tall spine. From here, hands on our knees as we rotate our torsos for 1, 2, 3. Let's take those torso rotations the other way for 1, 2, and 3, and back to center as we sit tall. From here, let's switch the cross of the legs. Other leg front, other leg back. Take a breath to ground down through 2 sits bones as we bring hands onto our knees, and then pulling back with those hands to engage the muscles of the back to help support our sit as we sit tall. A slight tuck of the chin as we keep our focus inward. From here again, finding a twist each way. Right hand by right hip, left hand catches the top of the thigh. Let it inhale, grow your spine tall, and then finding your twist. And again, finding a place to look that works for you. And that can change throughout the shape, throughout the pose. Letting your next inhale bring you through center. Other hand catches other thigh, other hand by other hip. Take a breath to sit tall. And finding your twist. Connecting with the natural pulsation of your breath. And in doing so, connecting with the natural pulsation of the universe. Let your inhale bring you through center. We'll ground down through right hand, left hand high. We'll lean to the right side. And then keeping the hand where it is as you slide it back down. And then holding for a couple of breaths, just breathing into those ribs. Now letting your inhale bring you through center. We'll ground down through left hand, right hand high, leaning to the left. Keeping the hand where it is, you slide that hand back down. And then taking well-deserved breaths into your ribs. Inhale, bring you back through center. Staying grounded through 2 sits bones as we spider ourselves forward. And then when you can't hinge at the hips anymore, hello, mark the cat. We'll pace the palms down and round the spine as we soften the face, relax the shoulders, relax neck. 2 or 3 big breaths into back arch. Now a tuck of the chin as we walk ourselves in. From here, let's bring hands under our knees and again circling our torso for 1, and 2, and 3. Taking our torso rotations the other way for 1, and 2, and 3, and back to center. From here, let's loose the cross of the legs, 2 long legs in front. Let's just give our legs a little bounce. And then let's give our knees a little knee therapy here as we bring a hand to each side, just warming up the connective tissue of our knee. Our fingers can find the back of the knee, giving the back of our knee a little love and consideration. Why not? Thank you, knee. And now letting the muscles around the knee be loose as we give that kneecap a little wiggle. And we've got 2 knees, other knee, hand on each side. And then our fingers find the back of the knee, just exploring that place. And then giving our kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's bring the heels of our hands to our hips. Just giving our hips a little love and consideration. And then bringing our hands to our low back. Just giving that place a little massage. From here, let's bring our feet off to one side. Let's find an all-fours position on our mat. In our all-fours position, grounding down solidly through our hands, lots of space between each finger, and then grounding down a little more prominently between the thumb and the forefinger as we draw the energy up from the ground. From here, just starting little hip circles here for 1, 2, and 3, and then taking those hip circles the other way for 1, and 2, and 3. Coming back center, let's trace a figure 8 with those hips. As one hip chases the other for 1, 2, and 3. Taking those figure 8s the other way for 1, and 2. And Coming back to all fours with neutral spine. Let's work the cat-dog combo. Unfurling the feet, lifting chin and tail, inhaling. On the exhale, tucking toes, tucking tail, tucking chin as you're back. A couple more times like this. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let's throw child's pose into the mix. Breathing in, finding the arc as we lift chin and tail. Big toes touch sits bones back to the heels as we round the spine. A couple more times like this. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Let's add side to side. Breathing in, coming up center. And then on the exhale, finding one heel. Inhaling, coming up center. On the exhale, finding that other heel. Two more times each side. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more time each side. Inhaling up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Let's find a figure eight. Breathing in, coming up center. Taking it back to a heel. Keep the hips low. We'll find the other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and back to first heel. Two more times this direction. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Let's take the diagonal up the other way. Shifting shoulders and hips and back to second heel. Inhaling up. Exhaling, drawing it back. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And then back to an all fours position. Neutral spine, feet hip width apart. I'll invite you to walk your hands just a little bit front. Wrists in front of elbows, elbows in front of shoulders, eyes of the elbows face loosely in. And let's get to a down dog shape with the cat-dog combo. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. And then tucking the toes, pushing into the hands as we lift the knees, rounded spine. And then finding your neutral spine as you push into the hands and stretch those heels down. As we hold this first down dog of this pop-up practice, I'll invite you to bend one leg deeply as you ground down to the opposite heel. And then finding that same stretch on the second side. And then freely moving back and forth between the sides, just seeing how your body feels this afternoon. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep, full breath. And then on the tail end of your breath, mindfully walking your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, fold. On the inhale, neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your palms as your weight collects in your feet. Relaxed shoulders, soft face, a slight tuck of the chin as we keep our focus in. From here, let's bring hands on hips as we step our feet outer hip width apart, so nice and wide here. Hands can support the back here, fingers face down. And then keeping the feet nice and wide, we'll just circle our hips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Taking those hip circles the other way. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's pretend we have an extra set of hands, like an Indian god or goddess. Extra set keeps the hips stable. Real hands come to the shoulders. And we circle our shoulders for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And back to center. You can play along with me. This is almost like a kindergarten thing here. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips, over heels as we stand tall. From here, let's move towards Burning Man Asana, 2 hands high in the air like you either do or don't care. We'll take the shoulders one way, hips go the other for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And back to center. And hands by our side. From here, let's go even wider with the feet. So outer shoulder width apart. Let's soften the knees and make 2 fists with the hands. It's called punching out with angry eyes. On an exhale, we'll punch out with the left as we squeeze. Inhaling through center, punching out with the right. And squeeze. And back and forth. Halfway done. Couple more each way. Let's hold these last 2 as we squeeze, 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 squeeze. Inhaling through center, exhaling and holding that extra breath as we squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then back to center, releasing the fists, hands by our side. Let's play the piano here. You can actually play the piano like Josephine. She actually is doing something besides wiggling her fingers. I'm playing air piano here. I'm an awesome air guitarist and an awesome air pianist. And then back to center. Finding a clasp with the fingers in front, we can press the heels of the hands together and just circling our wrists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to switch the cross. We'll walk the fingers one over. Let's connect the forearms here. We circle for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And down. From here, a nice way to focus the energy of the hands is to find these bird beak hands. We take 4 fingers, there it is, and we connect with the thumb. I invite you to bring those bird beak hands onto our shoulders. We'll lean a little bit forward. We'll work asymmetrical shoulder rolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Taking those rolls the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And down. Again, just like we're in kindergarten here. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips, over heels. As we stand tall. Okay, let's bring hands under our hips to step our left foot back, lining up the heels, moving towards Warrior 1 prep. So that front leg is bent, knee over heel and in line with the toes. From here, let's bring hands onto our shoulders, squaring the shoulders front. From here, finding a clasp with the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then from here, let's find a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance, straightening the front leg without locking the knee. On the exhale, circling our hands around. We'll do that a few times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out, and holding. Great go-to shape at any time in your day. This letter W. Elbows move back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers as we keep our hands separate. From here, let's turn Warrior 1 into Warrior 2. Hands find the heart. We open up the hips to face the side. We can kick the back foot in. You might go a little longer in this stance. So heel to arch alignment. A little bit longer, I tend to find. These side hip places give me a little more stretch in the legs, at least the possibility thereof. From here, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. And we can paint rainbows. Breathing in and and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, in, breathing out. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out. Finding your warrior two. And then I'll invite you to frame the front foot with both hands as we spin the back heel up. And then grounding down through your hands as you push it back to down dog and hold for 2 or 3 minutes. As we hold this down dog, again, I'll invite you to bend one leg deeply as you ground down to the opposite heel. Finding that same stretch on your second side. And then freely moving back and forth between the sides, just stretching it out. And again, from this place of movement, moving back towards stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep, full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to find length in your eye. On the exhale, fold. On the inhale, hands over head pose. On the exhale, standing tall. From here, let's bring hands to hips and step our feet. Again, outer shoulder width apart. On the inhale, we can bring the arms out to the side. On the exhale, we can bend the knees and cross the arms in front. Inhaling and then switching that cross. And we're halfway done. A couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And hands by our side. Again, feel free to do this with me. I love this. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Ears, shoulders, hips over heels. From here, hands find the hips. We'll step that right foot back. We'll find our warrior one prep. Lining up the heels, finding a length of stance. That works for your body. We can steer the back hip front, front hip back. We can steer the hips so they're even vis-a-vis the ground. From here, using our hands to relax our shoulders. Finding the other clasp with the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then finding that tray in front. Breathing in as we gather in the energy. Exhaling as we offer it out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Last one. Breathing out in. Holding. Again, this is a great go-to shape. The elbows come back. The hands come with. Feel the stretch across the front of the heart. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers. And then turning 1 into 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. We can narrow and maybe lengthen the stance just a tad. And then finding one long arm. From here, painting rainbows. Inhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. 3 more to go. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Warrior 2. And then I'll invite you to frame front foot with both hands. Spin that back heel up. And then making your way back to down dog as you go. Take your time. Thank you, Nan. Deep full breaths. And again, as we hold your down dog, I'll invite you always to walk the dog. I love movement within the shape. Starting to wake up the nadis, the 10,000 energy currents that move through our body. It's a metaphor, but really if you think about it, we've got blood vessels, we've got nerves, we've got digestion, we've got lots going on. And generally, they are currents, they're flows. We want to have everything flowing. From that place of movement, moving back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. On the inhale, riding the breath up, arms out to the side, and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart, either keeping a light press of the thumb against the sternum, lining up each finger as your weight collects in your feet. I'll invite you to add an isometric engagement. You press the palms together, elbows wide, a little tuck of the chin, a little tuck of the tail as we find that metaphorical iron rod in the very center of ourselves. Our strength, our determination, our resolution. And in hands by our side. From here, let's shift weight onto the right foot as our left foot gets light. Now let's move towards the baby dancer pose, Natarajanasana. As we lift our left foot up, and then we line up the knees, we bend that left foot, we reach back with the left hand to catch the foot. And I'm catching it from the outside here. From here, we can stretch right hand high to the sky. And then any amount, we start to kick the foot into the hand as we deepen the back of the heart. From here, we can come back upright. If you pitch the body forward, right hand can find right hip. We can swing this left thigh high, two hands find two hips. We can stay here with the knee bent and the toe pointed down. We're leaning a little bit forward as we draw energy into our center of balance as we go long through that leg. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then I'll invite you to flex the foot as we land across step, one leg in front of the other. From here, leading with the heart, hands stay on the hips as we find a forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees enough to ground down through two hands. You might just find the fingers. It's a nice way to raise the floor without using a brick or a block. Take a breath to lift chin and tail, just like in the sun cells. And then folding and holding as we relax the neck and heavy the head. As we hold this cross-legged forward fold, any amount, I'll invite you to circle your hips. And then taking those hip circles the other way. Now coming back center, let's find our balance here. So really connecting with the feet and keeping the legs crossed, neck relaxed, head heavy. Lots in core engagement so the low back doesn't fall forward as we roll ourselves back up. And this is a little trickier than it looks. Keeping the legs crossed, lifting the chin tall through the crown, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels as we stand tall. And then I'll invite you to bring hands onto the hips as we uncross the legs, and I'll invite you just to give it a little shake. Sometimes in those more intense postures, we start to accumulate tension. Giving it a shake, we're able to disperse that tension. From here, hands on hips, let's shift weight onto our left foot. Right foot gets light. We can line up the knees. We can reach back with our right hand to catch that right foot. From here, left hand high to the sky. We can start to pitch the body forward as we kick the foot into the hand to deepen the back of the heart. And breathing in to that back heart, exploring those back lungs. From a pitch forward position, we can come back up. Left hand can find left hip. We can swing that right thigh front. We can point the toe down. Two hands find two hips. Leaning a little bit forward as we connect with our center of balance, and then going long through that with a soft point to the toe. Lifting that leg just a tad higher. And then flexing the foot, landing across step. From here, hands stay on hips. We can shine that heart open, leaning with that shining heart as we fold. Now rounding the spine and bending the knees enough to ground down through at least the fingertips, neck relaxed, head heavy, as we hold a cross-legged forward fold. And then inviting more prana, more life force into our hips, our low back as we circle those hips, any amount. And then taking those hip circles the other way.
Now coming back center, really connecting with the circumference of both feet. We don't want to lose our balance here. Chin is tucked, the knees are soft. And we want to use lots of core engagement to support the low back as we masterfully roll our spines to Tada.
This is tougher than it might seem. Keeping the legs crossed as we lift the chin. And one more time. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels. Uncrossing the legs, giving it a shake. And then bringing hands to heart. Either keeping that light press of the palms as your weight gathers in your feet, or adding that isometric engagement, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, as we find our strength in our center. And then hands by our side. From here, let's go wide, wide, wide. We can angle the feet out. I'm going to lift my foot up. You guys don't have to do this, but the toes angle out. And we're going to rock into a half squat as we take it up. When we find our half squat, I'll invite you to bring the knees over the heels, elbows find the inner thighs, hands find the heart. And I'll invite you to keep rocking that squat from side to side. From our half squat, let's come back to an all fours position on our mat. And from our all fours position, let's bring our feet off to one side as we come back to two long legs in front. Let me adjust the screen so y'all can see our legs a little better. From here, let's find Charasana. Nice and wide with the feet, we've got some external rotation. Knees are bent, the heels do not connect. From Charasana, named after a green-skinned goddess of compassion, we can move towards Kurmasana, which is the Sanskrit word for tortoise pose. As we feed our hands underneath our shins, we can hinge at the hips, and then we can round the spine as we soften the shoulders and soften the face. There's a mantra that goes with this shape. I'll repeat it 3 times. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And as we hold the shape with every exhale, just letting those groins soften, breathing into low back, breathing into hips, identifying any knots or granthas in your body, and letting your breath and some time in the shape start to unwind those knots. From here, a tuck of the chin as we unfeed the arms out from underneath our shins. One of my favorite poses here. We either catch ankles with our hands, or maybe our peace sign fingers hook the big toes. We can lift the feet as we start to balance on our tailbone. Whoa. And either staying here, 2 bent legs, or wide with those legs. As we balance in our tailbones, I'll invite you to widen those legs. And then I'll invite you to find a butterfly in the air. Landing the butterfly, either hands come back to the ankles or thumbs catch the insoles of the feet. Take a breath to sit tall. And just like in Kurmasana, finding your forward fold, hinging at the hips. And then letting the spine round as we soften the shoulders. We can say that same mantra. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then as we hold another couple of breaths, just letting those inner thighs soften, letting yourselves melt as you scan your bodies, breathing in any cricks, any cramps, any knots, any granthas. From here, a tuck of the chin as we bring it on up. Let's use our hands to close our legs, keeping our inner thighs soft. From here, let's bring the left leg in close. Let's go long through the right leg so that foot can either find the shin or it finds the thigh. And we'll work a half butterfly here, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart, and then letting your back soften. And if you want to repeat that mantra to yourself, go for it.
Otherwise, just hanging out here, finding your breath, watching as it flows in. All the forward folds tend to be a lot of internal focus. Now a tuck of the chin as we walk ourselves back. Let's be super careful as we straighten this left leg. We'll keep the knee joint closed. We'll have a hand on each side. We'll bring the knee center and then flexing the foot as we lengthen through the leg. And again, we can give that knee a little love and consideration. A hand on each side. Fingers find the back of the knee. And then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's bring right thigh in, either working the shin or the thigh. Long through the left leg, turning and facing that left leg, hinging at the hips as we fold, and then letting the back soften as we pace the palms. Again, you might repeat that mantra or any other mantra that gives you strength, that gives you resolution or resoluteness, or just watching your breath as it flows in and connecting with the pulsation of your breath, and thus connecting with the pulsation of the universe. Now walking our hands in, being super, super careful with our knees. We'll keep the knee joint closed, the hand on each side as we bring the knee center, flexing the foot to engage the muscles around the knee to support that connective tissue. And then a little knee love, a little knee consideration, a hand on each side. Fingers find the back of the knee. And then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's roll down onto our backs. So, make sure you got some space overhead. So we start from tall spine with Frankenstein arms. From here we find C-spine as we tuck tail and chin. We lay each vertebrae down as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion. Find a little more space between each vertebrae. When we get down, full body stretch, arms by the ears but not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in as we point fingers and toes. Inhaling, and on the exhale, flexing hands and feet. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. And then I'll invite you to sweep your hands to a T, the palms face down, as we walk our feet in. And then treating ourselves to easy supine twist. The knees fall one way as we let our head fall off the other. With every exhale breath, just letting yourself be a little heavier, a little more settled onto your mat, onto the floor, onto the ground. Really feeling the heaviness of our matter body. In the midst of that heaviness, feeling the lightness of our energy body. I'll suggest on the tail end of an exhalation, with a slight engagement of the low belly to help support the low back. We can bring our knees and gaze back to center. A big breath into your back. And then letting you find that easy supine twist the other way. Take your time, letting your head languidly fall towards the far side. And again, this is connect with the ground, just feeling the weight of our the Anamaya Kosha, the matter body, the meat body. And in the midst of that, just feeling the lightness of the Pranamaya Kosha, the breath body, that energy body. Suggest on the tail end of an exhalation, with that engagement of the low belly, bringing yourself back to center. From here, let's reach back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin. Let's draw the knees in as hands catch the shins. We can start to roll ourselves front to back. And then we can pop ourselves up, coming back to a cross-legged position. From here, let's bring one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and let's work a three-part breath. And we'll take it from both directions. I'll invite you to breathe into your belly hand and hold. Breathing in between the two hands. And hold. Breathing into heart hand. And hold. And then just letting your out breath push out. Maybe that breath comes out through the mouth. Let's work this three-part breath from the other side. So a long, smooth inhalation in.
letting your exhale come out from heart hand. Holding. Exhalation coming out from between the two hands. Holding. Letting your exhalation come out through belly hand. And holding. And then bringing hands back under our knees for a long, smooth breath in. And a long, smooth breath out. From here, let's switch to the cross of the legs. Let's do one more breath exercise here. Doing an alternating nostril breath as we balance left and right. Using our right hand, pinky and index finger close off the left nostrils. We breathe in through right. Closing right nostril with the thumb, breathing out through left. Breathing in through left. Closing left, breathing out right. Breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. One more time around, breathing in left. Breathing in right. Closing right, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Closing left, breathing out right. And then hands on our knees for a long, smooth breath in through both nostrils. And a long, smooth breath out. From here, let's find those two straight legs again. And we'll have one more full body stretch here, so make sure you got some room behind you. We start from tall spine with Frankenstein arms, tucking tail and chin as we slowly roll ourselves down. Full body stretch when we get down there, pointing fingers and toes, and then sweeping hands by your side, scooting the head back as you flatten the shoulders, doing whatever else feels right and good for you this afternoon as we find our Shavasana. Releasing the tip of the tongue from the roof of the mouth, tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through the nose. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you this afternoon. At home, certainly feeling free to stay right where you are. For the purposes of this 45-minute pop-up class, I'm going to ring these bells 3 times. I invite you to listen to the striking of the tone, its duration, and then its diminution. And then most importantly, the relative silence thereafter. I'm sure there's ambient sound where you are this room. Ambient sound here, we've got the wind. We've got the birds in the trees. We've got the buzzing of insects. Not too many, thank God. Anyway, I'm going to ring these bells. At home, feeling free to stay exactly where you are. For purposes of this space, I'll invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes, inviting more prana, more life force into your bodies. Now circling wrists and ankles as you draw that life force into the center. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Intuitive movement, just connecting with your feeling body. And then moving towards Apanasana as we draw one knee at a time in towards our heart. Our hands catch our shins. And then using our thighs to massage our low belly, our center of balance, as we gently lift and lower the low back. Keeping the knees closed in as we gently rock it from side to side, massaging our low back, massaging our kidneys,
And then I'll invite you to reach back with a hand to catch the back of the head. Keeping the chin tucked as hands catch the shins. And we can rock and roll it up a few times. 1, 2, 3.
And popping up to a cross-legged seated position with our hands on our knees. Pulling back with our hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin without straining the neck, as 5 fingers of one hand find the ground. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place, a breath awareness. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of the thumb against the sternum as we line up each finger. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place, a breath awareness. I invite you to bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. Namaste. Thank you at home for practicing with us. Thank you, Josephine, for practicing with me. And we'll see you next time. Feel free to comment. Any questions? Always looking for feedback as to sound quality or any poses that you might enjoy in a future class.